Hi there. My group and I will be presenting on chapter 4, language. My group members are Trishelle Bowman presenting vagueness, and Dylan Arnold presenting on ambiguity, and myself as Ramos presenting on overgenerality. What is language? We know that language contains or consists of speaking, writing, sign language, signs, and songs. We use communications as language. We communicate with one another in different type of languages, or we could classify language as a communication so that we could share our main ideas or thoughts. The importance of communication and language is it allows us to share our ideas and thoughts and feelings without others. Then we also need to keep in mind that when we are communicating with one another, what we say to one person can be perfectly understood to another person, but that person cannot understand it, meaning that not everyone could perfectly understand what you say, because sometimes you could have fuzziness in your terms or words or meaning. Then that means that we need to be precise. If we're not precise, one cannot be correctly understood. In fact, misunderstanding are quite often the causes of disagreement. Once you're not understand or clear enough, no one will agree with you. Then failure to be precise in communicating can result in confusion and misunderstanding. What makes perfect sense to someone, a person, might be confusing to someone else or another person. Then if, for example, if someone tells you their father is a painter, do they mean he's a house painter or an artist? But when you cannot be understood, it is not the other person's fault. If others can understand you, you need to be more precise in what you say. Then we will be presenting this chapter mainly on vagueness, overgenerality, and ambiguity.
Vagueness. A word is defined as vague when the meaning is fuzzy and inexact. Vagueness in our language occurs many times in our day-to-day lives. By this, I mean that sometimes our slangs and phrases can be misrepresented and misunderstood, and that should not be the case. If something is not clear, it should be made clear. Especially if you are a critical thinker, the trait of clarity should be something that you possess and take pride in. Example 1. This is good weather. In this example, the phrase good weather is being used vaguely because for this girl, good weather could mean anything, and for that, this is the correction. This is good sunny weather. Example 2. Chief of police. Anyone behaving immorally will be severely punished. In this example, the word immorally is being used vaguely because immoral behavior may mean anything under the sun. It may mean anything to anyone. Immoral behavior does not have an exact meaning in this example. So the correction for that will be anyone breaking the law will be severely punished. Example 3. School principal. Any student wearing inappropriate clothing will receive detention. In this example, inappropriate clothing is being used vaguely because the concept of inappropriate clothing may vary from individual to individual and look different for everyone. So the correction for this example would be any student wearing clothing not aligned with the school dress code will receive a detention.
Following my group members' presentation, I will be presenting on ambiguity. Now, many may ask, what is ambiguity? No, ambiguity, a word or expression is ambiguous if it has two or more meanings and the context does not make it clear for different intentions that will be done. Ambi means both. And before going any further within my presentation, I would like to make note that in a logical argument, ambiguity and vagueness should never be practiced. Now, many may ask, what are the different types of ambiguity? There are two different types of ambiguity. Firstly, the semantic/lexical ambiguity, and secondly, the syntactic ambiguity. Now, firstly, the semantic ambiguity. This is uncertainty of one word or phrase. Also, one word has more than one meaning. Now, within a given statement, the word or the phrase may have a different meaning than what you actually grasped from that statement. Now, for the different examples on this meaning. As a young girl, her grandfather often told her stories about the Wild West. Now, many may read this statement and read and understand the exact thing that they're reading, which is, as a young girl, her grandfather often told her stories about the Wild West, while others may get that her grandfather was never a young girl. So there are two different meanings to this just based off the word or phrase being used. The second example, I don't like it when my father smokes. Now, everyone knows smoking can be vary from cigarette to marijuana, etc. And also smoking can be smoke from fire, so in this given statement, smoke is this one word or phrase that that has uncertainty. No, I don't like it when my father smokes. One may get from this what they read. I don't like it when my father smokes, in the sense that they don't like their father smoking marijuana, cigarette, tobacco, etc. While others may understand that I don't like it when my father smokes, in the sense that, a fire and he's, smoking, So again, smoke in this case is the word of uncertainty. Now, for the second ambiguity, this is the syntactic ambiguity. This is pretty straightforward. Sentence that has more than one meaning due to the grammar. Now, this is also like almost close to, the first ambiguity, just that the grammar which is being used is not correct. For example, Joe went to the bank. If anyone was to tell you that, someone went to the bank, one idea of this may be, okay, in this term, us in Belize, we're going to the bank, Belize Bank, Scotia Bank, Atlantic Bank, etc. While others may believe that, the River Bank. So by this statement saying Joe went to the bank, this is grammatically wrong. The correct statement should have been, if they wanted to intend it as, to Belize Bank or Atlantic Bank, they would have to say that Joe went to the bank to fix his lock card of his ATM. My second example, the professor said on Monday he would give an exam. Now, this is grammatically wrong also, because some may understand from this that the professor gave the exam on Monday, and others may understand from this that maybe the upcoming Monday he will give this exam. So yes, that's it for ambiguity. Thank
I'll
you.
be presenting on overgenerality. Overgenerality. It is a broad and specific in a given context. It's meaning that you are too broad or too overgeneral in what you're saying. You're giving extra information. Is a statement that provides too much information to be useful, meaning that you are saying something that is unclear or general. It's like a hasty generalization in something. An example would be teacher, Johnny, what is 7 plus 5? Johnny replies by saying more than 2. Then the correction in this is teacher should say, Johnny, what is 5 plus 5 equals to? Johnny would say it will equal to 10. It's being precise. You're asking a precise question, and the person needs to be accurate in order to be correct in what they say in their answer. Then example number 2, we have mother, where are you going? Teenager, out, which is more commonly what we all reply to our parents nowadays. Then the mother would say, when will you be back? Teenager would say later. That's something we could relate to also, that because our parents ask us, where are we going? We'll say out. When will we be back? We'll say probably later. But the correction way of a mother should ask is, where exactly are you going and what time you will be back? The teenager will need to be replying or respond by saying, I am heading to Mike's house across the road from us, and I'll be back around 3 p.m. So you are clearly understanding that the person is going to his or her friend, and then it's across your home. and then you know that they will be home around 2 p.m. Then we have my final example is number 3. It's father. Son, are you going to class tomorrow? James would reply, maybe. But the correct way is to ask, father will say, James, are you going to school tomorrow, right? James will either reply yes or no because he will be firmly precise in what he say, and the father will understand that yes, he's going to school, or no, he's not going to school. Then that's it. Then we could say that overgenerality, you need to be very precise in what you say and be very detailed to what you say, because giving extra information, you need to make it be very useful in what you're saying, because once you're overgeneral in every specific context you say, not everyone could understand what you're saying. Some might, but there's a percentage of others, you could say 1 out of 2 could understand what you're saying. Our conclusion would be language is important as it is used worldwide as a way to communicate with one another. Yes, language is important in our lives. And then we can give you a handy tip that will help you while using language. In language, you need to be precise in what you say. That's very important. You need to be very clear. Then you could go straight to the point and give clear information about the matter. Yes, always be very clear and precise and go straight to the point and be directive. Then thinking before you speak, always rephrase what you're thinking before you say a speech or communicate with one another, so that you could see whether what you could fix in your speech or in your comments or anything you're giving. Then lastly, you could say use your words or phrase carefully when giving information on things or ideas. Yes. Always rephrase your words, fix your phrase or words carefully when giving information, because you need to be precise. That's the main idea. Then I will end by saying thank you, and I will end with a quote by Edwards. Accuracy of statement is one of the first elements of truth. Inaccuracy is a near came to falsehood. Yeah, you need to be accurate. And if you're accurate and you're inconsistent, you're precise, everyone will believe your information. You'll be a trustworthy person. But if you give false information or misleading information, no one will trust you. I will end it by there. Thank you. Feel free to view our PowerPoint. It will be here showing right about now. Enjoy.